Wait a minute, what am I doing? Two men and a what? Two friends from film school, one who graduated, one who did, and they decided to make a podcast. Okay, this has never been done before, right? Okay. This is Matthew and Harrison's Two Men in a Movie. It's not what it sounds like.
Here, you want to say something?
You want to say something? No. Get that sniff of ASMR in
Good
there.
girl.
Good
Good
girl.
girl. So we're recording at my place because...
Yeah, and Geneva's joining us.
Yes, that's exactly my dog, Lilia. Yeah, your place is too damn hot.
Yeah, it's way too damn hot. I've been sweating like a pig. It was like 85 there the other day.
Jesus.
I bought another like standalone air conditioner, but it's not coming until Tuesday for some reason.
Oh, fun.
And if you're gonna exploit your workers, Amazon, you could at least get my things there on time.
Yeah.
Like that's the bargain we made. Hey, I know. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, if you're gonna interrupt, hey, I love you. If you're gonna interrupt, we're gonna have to send you to the office.
We should have kept the Geneva bit going. We should have kept it going for a bit.
If you're gonna interrupt, we gotta send you to the office, okay? To my office. Are you good?
Yeah,
You gonna be good?
Geneva's there guest on the podcast, and she just sniffled and licked a butt. What's going on with her? She okay?
Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Yeah, that's how I was. I was panting all day. I'm behind on work. I was just so sluggish.
Oh no, it's part because she's hot and part because she's nervous because new person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what she does when she gets nervous. Is she just heavy pants? I don't know if it's what all dogs do. I don't know enough about them, but it is her
What
tell.
pugs do.
Hmm?
It's what pugs do.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've only had a lot of experience with pugs.
Hell yeah. Good girl.
I once was sleeping at a friend's house with a pug named Sophie,
Mm-hmm.
and I was having this dream, and then I slowly pull out of the dream by like, oh, no. And I woke up. It's like, Sophie, no! And the pug was on my chest, staring me directly in the face, and it's going, and they're like, and I'm like, what's going on? And all over my face, it runs off. Hey,
no teeth.
no teeth,
No
no
teeth.
teeth, no teeth, no teeth. I know I'm bony. Hey.
Okay. Pause.
This is definitely one I'm going to want to do a redux on at some point
Yeah.
because I pulled you. I watched this a couple days ago because I had a haircut today.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sweating and drinking to avoid the sweating.
Sure.
I'm sure I have much more in-depth things to say, but I need to watch it again. I can say without a doubt I love the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can speak to it in a coherent manner outside of generic things I like.
That's so fair.
I was laying on the couch just drinking Miller, like, and I had to wipe the sweat out of I had a cup. That's the noise of my eye, squeeze my eyes. I was filling that up because all the sweat it was awful.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna do a redux of this episode, but I don't know if there is as stark of a difference in any director's filmography between a first and second movie than Blood Simple to Raising Arizona. No, you can find stark differences across entire filmographies.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like first and second.
And it was done on purpose. After making Blood Simple, which was the movie they knew they could get made, they wanted their second movie to be so starkly different to never have anyone put them in a box ever.
That's fair, because it's very different.
It's basically a slapstick crime comedy.
It's nuts. My favorite thing about this movie is this is one I think I've seen before. I just have no recollection of it because I watch it at an age that I'm realizing probably not the appropriate time to watch it.
Okay.
Because I was like real young, and I'm like, I'm not sure if this is a movie for like the real young.
Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter, they're so attractive. Both of them.
It is
both of our leads are just.
If you shave the mustache off Nicolas Cage, she becomes like the ultimate twink.
They're stunningly beautiful, like almost distracting.
He's also like real. He looks like hot men today. Which
Yes.
I think is really interesting. He looks like a hot rat boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I forgot that this movie starts off like the very, very beginning of it as enemies to lovers.
Yes.
Which is my favorite genre of X-Reader. So I was glad to see that.
I forgot this movie started off with 11 minutes of narration.
Oh, it's a Coen Brothers.
And it
movie.
flies by.
Coen-
No, I knew it started with narration. I just didn't realize it was as long as it was. And I didn't realize it was as long as it was until I checked the timer and it was 11 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of narration in this movie. And a lot of good... Is that how they talk in Arizona? I've never been.
Does anyone talk in Arizona?
Are they they're in Arizona, right?
Yeah. They're in Tulsa.
Like, is that how they talk? Is that the accent down there?
I could not tell you.
I always assumed it was like, hey, yo, because of New Vegas.
I don't know.
My entire concept of Nevada as a state is a bunch of people like bada bing bada boom, want to play some roulette, ring a ding ding, and then like the killers. And that's the two type of people that live in, and autists because of criminal minds.
Yes. I know more about people from New Mexico than I do Arizona.
I'm thinking of Nevada.
I know you're thinking of
I have
Vegas.
no
I was
concept.
like, the killers are
I
from
have
Vegas.
no concept of Arizona. So my concept of Arizona is that it's Nevada.
It's not. Yeah, it's not Nevada.
What's in fucking Arizona? Who's from Arizona? The T?
Bands from Arizona. Jimmy Eat World. AJJ.
AJJ's from Arizona. Okay. People from Arizona.
The Maine.
Stevie Nicks.
Oh, good for her.
You know what? That makes sense that they're from AJJ's from it because so is Linda Ronstadt,
Oh, okay.
who they mentioned quite a few times.
Nice.
Geronimo? Geronimo?
I love the Coen brothers are so good at
Did they show
giving
the-
you.
Sorry, did they show the flag in this movie?
I don't know.
Because they have like the coolest flag.
I don't remember
That's a
seeing
cool
that flag.
fucking flag, dude.
The Coen brothers are so good at giving you tiny details like right away that tell you everything you need to know about the character. While also hi Nick Cage, who plays Hi McDonough, H.I. McDonough, he is explaining everything that's going on, and then they have interstitials like when he gets arrested from robbing the convenience store, and Holly Hunter plays Ed, short for Edwina, is the cop who's taking the photos as he's coming in. And
What a fucking name. Edwina.
and when she's crying the second time, or second or third time, when she's crying during the photos and he's asking why, and she says, "My fiance broke up with me," when she means fiance. That one line of dialogue.
I assume that's just how they spoke down there.
Yeah.
That's the accent. I was watching a video about Ohio accents recently, and they're similar, like milk and steel, and
Is it not pronounced steel?
they apparently it's more like steel. Or the way like if you're talking fluent Ohio, and apparently if you're like I'm gonna steal that, we kind of shorten it a lot.
I have no
The problem is
idea.
that Ohioans have an accent, but it's also like the broadcasting accent a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
because we have the college in Cleveland.
So we just don't. It's hard to tell. You're like,
Yeah.
that's what Americans sound like. It's like, no, we got twang. We don't say fiance. What was it?
Fiance.
Fiance.
My fiance dumped me.
And he scoops in. I mean, I get it.
He's
a hero.
I need you to know that I think he's a damn fool.
He's a hero. That's my ideal meet cute.
And when he slips the when he slips the ring on the finger the next time he gets arrested, just like that happens so quickly.
That's my ideal meet cute is that I meet someone, it's enemies to lovers, we're on opposite sides of the law, and then immediately we're married.
Sure.
I don't want there to be like a dating period.
So, when he swoops in there, like, he is such a smooth criminal. And when he slips the ring on the finger and then just goes, "By the way, I paid for it," beautiful. Tells you everything you need to know about that relationship.
The ideal relationship.
Yeah.
You find a woman who just is crying over her fiance, and you get married like some period of time later. I'm not sure, probably months, right? Because he goes to prison.
8 to 14 months every time. This is the first collaboration between John Goodman and the Coen brothers.
Is it?
And it's their second movie.
I spent a lot of time being like, is this discount John Goodman?
No, it was John Goodman before he lost the weight.
Eh.
I don't know the time period. I don't know
So
if
they
this
got
is
him
like,
young. They got him early.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like peak drinking and cocaine John Goodman or not.
I didn't know he was with them for so long.
Yeah, since movie 2, baby. One of the greatest actors to ever live.
Which is wild because he did Roseanne. You know, that's something I always think about. It's like John Goodman is this one of the greatest actors who ever lived,
Yeah.
and he did like Roseanne.
Yeah, he wanted that steady TV money.
Yeah, I just don't put Roseanne as like. I guess it had like it was a really big sitcom, but I never think of it as like one of the big sitcoms.
Sure.
And it's like, and John Goodman. It's not about him either. That's what's wild to me. It's like,
But almost every one like when they talk about Roseanne, they specifically mention how good John Goodman
yeah,
is.
which is like, it's nuts. It's like if you're watching like I'm trying to think of like someone who's had a sitcom but wasn't too famous. I'm gonna say Bill Cosby. I guess it's like if you had the Bill Cosby show and like a steady character that was there every episode was his brother, like O.J. Simpson. Like someone just so much more famous than he is.
Sure.
Like as a steady, because like, I know Friends had Brad Pitt on.
And Paul Rudd when Paul Rudd was not quite Paul Rudd.
He wasn't like famous.
He was the dude from Clueless, and I don't remember if he did Wet Hot American Summer yet.
But like they had like peak Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Well, yeah, because he was married to Jennifer Aniston.
He was, yeah. I didn't even put that together. I just figured he was a fan of the show. Do you know on average, you see a black person every 8 episodes of Friends?
That's fascinating, considering they live in New York.
There's one character who's black, and she's in it the most. She's in it for 9 episodes, which is about 3%. And that's there's like maybe 6 reoccurring black characters, and she's in there for the longest stretch of time.
And 9 episodes.
Yep, 3%.
It's how do you have a show set in New York City?
In any metropolitan area.
I mean, any metropolitan area, but especially like the melting pot of the USA.
There's it's all white people in that movie, in that show. There's like very few. I'm trying to think of people who are like even like an Asian. Just a bunch of white. Joey's Italian, so I guess he counts. But
Gunter's a German immigrant, so
yeah, I think I counted more if he's like a Polish. Is there?
Also, I was unaware. I had completely forgotten how offensive Glenn was toward the Polish people.
Yeah, I know that.
And
I was going to bring that up at some point.
I forgot to warn you. I
we
had
were watching
forgotten
a
myself.
hate speech movie.
We really were watching a very racist man tell horrible Polish
people
jokes.
say all the time to me, Matthew, Polish people are a minority. Matthew, you can't keep saying black pride and raising your fist anytime someone says they're going to get pierogies or mentions the word kibasi. But then, I'm going to show them this movie and say there's still hate for us in this country.
Yeah, in 1988, there was still hate.
I got it called a Polak 3 years ago.
Okay. Also, the coworker at the sheet metal plant. I forget the actor's name off the top of my head, but he's Bubba from Blood Simple.
I didn't know they made sheet metal in a plant. I thought they dug it out of the ground.
You just thought they came from they were just thin sheets of
slate.
Sure, I guess.
Tons of rocks are flat.
Okay, but metal in the sense of sheet metal is processed.
I thought that's why it's so hard to be like a metal miner, is because you have to get that through the tunnels.
Ah.
You're like, oh fuck, turn it, damn it, it won't get through.
Pivot.
What would never happen if there's a single minority moving that couch? I tell you, it's the dumbness. The one chance they had of getting that couch up successfully was the Italian, and he was dumb.
I love this movie. We are going to do a Redux episode of this for real. The weather and life is very much making this episode weird and distracting. But I love this movie, and I need everyone to know
it's really good. I don't understand the premise personally.
Okay,
the whole time I'm watching this movie. And in my head, I'm like, I'd be doing the opposite of I'd be constantly trying to get rid of this baby.
You don't relate to that.
I don't relate to and then the criminals grab the baby. I'm like, why are you get this baby?
They want the ransom.
Yeah, but then they're worried about it and stuff.
Yeah, because it's a baby.
Yeah, if I'm giving it up for ransom.
But they have the scene where the baby looks at Evel, and it's like, oh, he looked at me like it was like he had the scene where they open up to the baby being a person.
I think that there should be a point where like, oh, what's his name? The guy who sticks out in this movie, Sam.
Okay.
Saul.
The
bounty hunter.
Oh, Lenny.
It's Lenny's the bounty hunter?
Leonard Smalls.
Smalls. Okay, Smalls is what I was aiming for. The guy who's like, why are you from Mad Max? You're so weirdly out of place in this movie. Like, if perhaps instead of High like doing the grenade, the baby shot him.
Or if the baby did the
Or
grenade.
the baby did the grenade. I just like personally like the shot of like he gets shot and he falls over. Or maybe it shoots the grenade or something, I don't know.
Sure.
And then it pans over and the baby has the gun.
Hell yeah,
I think that'd be
dude.
really good. Because it's also really funny because you're just putting a prop gun next to a baby. And it's clearly the baby did not shoot this gun, but that is creating that illusion, and that's funny.
So
It's funny when you pan to a baby in something, and it's clearly set up to be doing something a baby can't do, but you're like, in fiction, the baby did it. Who killed Mr.
So-
Burns? Is the whole premise.
Leonard Smalls is a bounty hunter
From Mad Max.
from Mad Max.
He's so dirty.
That High, get back to that, but High and Ed are infertile. They cannot have children. Edwina is infertile, and High cannot impregnate her.
The dream.
And so, sure. And so, the solution, they find out that a famous furniture paint store owner,
Like Mr. Laverne.
the Arizona family, hence the title Raising Arizona.
Did they found Arizona?
No, he changed his name.
Oh, he changed his name.
Yes, because no one's gonna buy from Unpainted Crumlets or whatever his actual last name is. So Nathan and his wife, Nathan Sr. and his wife, oh my God, it's like Franny, something like that. Alice, which I don't.
The
One
amount
of
of names that stuck to my brain, my wet brain, are few.
one of those names, and they had Quince. And so the solution that Ed comes up with for High is that High will steal one of
Yeah,
the
because
Quince.
they can't adopt because he's a criminal.
They explicitly say in the paper it's almost too much for us to handle, which is just a fun one-off thing that the business owner says to the
That
press.
must have been an awful pregnancy. 5 children in the Arizona heat. Just blowed like a fucking whale sweating. Because I know it's bad enough to have a summer pregnancy, but like an Arizona summer pregnancy where you got 5 children in you, I don't think you could even walk.
I have thoughts, but yes.
That's a big tummy.
That is a big tummy. She was so thin when they stole the babies.
They use that furniture money to
I was gonna
fix
say,
her up.
her body snapped the fuck back. So they named their babies Harry, Barry, Larry, Gary with 2 R's, and Nathan Jr.
Yeah. I mean, when you have 5 kids at once, what are you going to do?
But there are other names that exist.
You want to knock it out.
I just, if you're gonna name, and I know that's the joke, but if you're gonna name 4 of your kids together,
Well, you want to know which one's the favorite. You want those kids growing up knowing that one of them's the favorite.
that's the joke. Yes. So High is trying to steal these kids, and he's causing a ruckus upstairs in what turns into a horror movie, which truly makes me think the Coen brothers can direct a horror movie, because I know you feel nothing when children are in danger, but the tension that they pulled off
thought it
with
was
putting
a-
those children in
I
danger.
thought it was fun. Buster Keaton slapstick, honestly.
No, it was
It's a new perspective. I
it
hadn't
was
experienced.
genuine horror.
That's how I'd name my kids if I had kids, honestly. Or name it something like Tundra. Because you see all these savannas, but there's no other biomes. Why is there any, like, tundras? Jungle.
Honest, I can't see someone naming their kid Jungle. I can see someone naming their kid Tundra.
Call him Tundy.
But a thing noticed is when he's causing a ruckus upstairs, and the wife, I forget her name and I feel bad, but the wife says, that sounds like Larry, and Nicolas Cage is holding one of the childs. He's holding Harry.
I mean, to be fair,
I mean, when you have 5 kids and they're all babies, you're not going to be able to tell
you're not
them
gonna know
apart.
apart. There's no way.
But
I'm convinced most people's parents aren't their parents, and they just kind of grab. Like, there's got to be so many mix-ups we don't know about,
What?
right? Like, all babies look the same.
Have you heard? Have you heard of a couple years ago when the nurse got caught switching like 5,000 kids at birth over the course of 20?
Just for fun.
Yeah, over the course of like 20
Oh
years.
yeah. Oh, she rocks. Is she single?
I don't. She's probably in prison. But
This can be our Raising Arizona moment. I gotta go become a cop.
you have to
What a
become cop.
queen. What a fucking queen, though.
But I heard somewhere, and I agree. I kind of agree with this. That right there, if they can track down those kids, is the ultimate study of nature versus nurture. Remove the ethics. I mean, it's already done. You don't have to like.
Sometimes you need
Unfortunately,
you need bad people.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't know how hot a person can survive in if it weren't for the Nazis. We got a lot of interesting research we use to this day for medical reasons
Yeah.
out of Nazis and the Japanese shit, just because they were like, I have absolutely no ethics. How hot can a human be?
Yeah.
How cold can a human be?
Also, when Nicolas Cage is causing a ruckus and the two parents, Nathan and his wife, are just staring at each other and then staring up at the ceiling, bro, there's thudding and like mouth noises, like voices coming from your upstairs. Go check on your kid.
I mean, to be fair,
Immediately, go check on
to
your
be fair,
kid.
I wouldn't assume someone's trying to steal a baby.
I would assume something happened. I would assume one of my kids fell. If I hear a huge thud, or if I hear thud come from like thumping come from the nursery, I'm gonna assume one of the kids fell.
But it's like a really loud thud, right?
Yeah,
I don't think a baby would make that loud of a thud. So,
that's even more of a reason to go check
so you know
on
it's
them.
okay.
No, that's even more of a reason to go check on them. Oh, this part of the movie is an existential horror movie. Babies are just suicidal. They're just little suicidal. They're constantly trying to kill themselves, and your entire goal as a parent for the first little while is to keep them from killing themselves. At one point, Hai comes back and is like, they're crying. They're gonna come check on him. We can't do this. And Ed's just resolved in the car is like, I'm not leaving until we have this kid.
Women.
Go back and get this kid.
Women are.
And so he does get a kid, and it's probably Nathan Jr., who he thinks is the best one.
Yeah, obviously.
And Ed's like, all babies are beautiful God's creatures. And I just goes, yeah, but there's something about this one, right? He's a stallion. Also, I love that they alternate, that they kept calling him Nathan Jr., that they didn't agree on a name at any point.
No, they keep telling people we're going to decide on a name, and everyone just accepts that. And it's like, something was put on the birth certificate. Like, you had to have a name.
Well, yeah.
You can't just be like, I'm going to name it later.
Can you?
I think you have to put something on the birth certificate. The dad doesn't have to put his name on the birth certificate.
Do you have to? Okay.
But the baby does.
Can you decide a baby's name after birth? Okay, that was a bad way to phrase that question. Does a name need to be placed on the birth certificate before leaving the hospital? Parents do have the option to be discharged prior to naming their infant.
What?
Yeah, that's insane.
Is there a time limit? Or could it be like, my kid's 6 years old, I'm like, you know what? You seem like a real Tony to me. It's time to give you a name.
I don't know.
You just call them by their social security
How
number?
long? You have 60 days.
That's a ridiculously long amount of time.
But the day that Nathan comes home and they have this big welcome home party, John Goodman and his plays Gale and his brother Evil Snotes. They Shawshank their way out of prison.
The dream.
They erupt from the mud, and Gale just pulls his little brother out.
You think prisons would have like underground cops? Because it seems to be a very easy way to get out of prison. You see it in Looney Tunes, you see it in Shawshank, you see it in Raising Arizona. You can just dig your way out of prison. There should be like mole cops. Like cops who like no family.
Mole cops.
No family. They're not actual moles, because I don't think a mole could fire a gun.
Moles are also blind.
Yeah. Also, moles, firm believers in ACAB. But you have like a guy, he has no family, and he spends like 10 years. You have a 10-year shift, and you just go underground. Like you dig a hole, and they bury it beneath you. You just go around the prison, you eat worms, and you just, if anyone's getting out, you catch them.
So they
This is my new hit TV show. Mole Cop. We're getting Nathan Fillion. He's done with The Rookie. He's coming on Mole Cop.
So they Shawshank their way out of prison, and the FBI is and the local cop police.
Imagine an hour of television, just a camera in front of someone's face, like a night vision one, and they're in a dirt tunnel, and they're just digging.
You have to think this isn't just 1 hour of television. This is 24. This is 22 to 24 hours of television a year.
I know. It's all just. The set's just a big box of dirt. We put them in.
So the FBI are investigating Nathan Jr.'s disappearance because he wasn't abducted by aliens.
Is that an FBI crime?
What?
Is that an FBI crime?
They're a high-profile family. That's what I took it as.
Guess.
That's what I took it as. They're a high-profile
I guess
family.
the FBI was the FBI involved with the Lindenberg baby? Because isn't the FBI is only like involved when it's like if it's a federal crime or it's like across state boundaries?
Maybe they think it's across state lines.
Maybe.
But
Maybe they don't know what state they're in because they're all square down there.
yeah, exactly. I like where you're thinking. And it leads to one of the most clever
Well, cops don't have no jurisdiction.
it leads to one of the most clever just Coen Brothers line moments where Nathan says, well, the police wouldn't know the difference between a lead and a hole in the ground, and then it immediately cuts to canine units sniffing a hole in the ground. Everyone in this movie, we're gonna be all over the place. This is
Yeah, I'm kind of hooked into the Mole Cop fantasy right now. I'm sure it'll wear off, but right now I'm really hooked onto. We should stop making this podcast and start producing the hit NBC drama.
if you want to get together and write a pilot, I'm down. Real talk, I am. I'm off.
We could film it for so little money. We just need a big box of dirt.
I'm so distracted. A thing I find very interesting is that everyone in this movie calls Nick Cage's character Hi, except for John Goodman, who calls him HI. Every single time he calls him HI, which I find fascinating that that's their relationship. Is it John Goodman trying to step into a dynamic that they don't have? Is it John Goodman trying to be different? Or is their relationship just so, like, I think that's a fascinating...
Maybe I mean, is it HI?
It's Herbert I. McDonough.
Yeah.
Because when he signs the letter at the end,
yeah.
he signs it, your love, Herbert.
Maybe he's just a proper gent.
Yeah. And even when John Mulaney, even when John Goodman, Gale, is giving high shit about, like, taking shit from his wife, and, like, you two are in a very weird relationship, he's looking at it, yes, selfishly, but also from the perspective of, like, I don't mean to be rude. However, this is how I see your relationship. Yeah. Like, he's like a bro.
He's always a bro.
Yeah.
John Goodman's not a bro in any movie except the one he's not, which is Cloverfield Lane, which I just remembered existed.
A fun fact, was not meant to be a Cloverfield sequel until, like, they shoehorned one
Which is
in.
wild, because Overlord, a movie which is on my list because I love Overlord, was meant to be a Cloverfield sequel or prequel, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, if you know Cloverfield, you're like, okay, I see where Cloverfield was supposed to be. Now, she's also in Star Wars now.
Is she?
Yeah, she played. She's the show's Ahsoka. I should know. She played Hera.
Oh, okay.
So that whole couple's in there. It's Obi-Wan and Hera.
I have not. We're back to the Coen Brothers. I have not seen every one of their movies. It would not shock me if Frances McDormand is in every one of their movies. Is she in A Serious Man? She has to be. That is a movie about a Jewish family in Minnesota. She has to be. She's married to a Jewish man from Minnesota.
I like actor couples.
Yeah.
I like when they show up in the same things.
In an interview for, I want to say it was Fargo, someone asked Frances McDormand, sorry, go for it.
Michelle Gellar, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because her...
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, she's married to Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes.
Who was in Rebels.
Yes.
And then she played a character in Rebels.
Oh, nice.
The character he plays is like married, common law married to, is played in live action by Mary.
That's awesome. Freddie Prinze Jr. also has the most correct take on Star Wars ever.
Yeah.
It was an interview for, I want to say it was Fargo, and someone asked Frances McDormand, like, was it difficult getting this role? And she said, well, I think the fact that I was sleeping with the director gave me a leg up.
Because she's in so many of them. It's like, hey, Ralph Fiennes, was it hard being in this Wes Anderson? Was it hard to get this Wes Anderson movie role? It's like, no, Wes showed up by a door and said, you're in my next movie.
Yeah. Hey, Ed Norton. Like, was it difficult being in Wes Anderson?
Hey, Samuel L. Jackson, is it hard being in a Tarantino film?
You know how you've been in every single one of them except for Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
And you auditioned for Reservoir Dogs?
Like,
Yeah, because he has a cameo in, like, a very, very blinking you'll miss it cameo in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
does he?
I think he's at a table. He's like when they're filming the Western scene.
Oh, he's there.
I think he's one of the actors at the table. I'll have to rewatch that movie. But I remember every time in theaters, and it's such a quick shot, thinking to myself, is that Samuel L. Jackson? Or is that just a man who looks so much like Samuel L. Jackson?
What a wild question. Was it hard to get the role for that movie? What a wild question to ask someone who's in all the movies and is fucking the director.
Yeah. He's not just fucking, but is married to the director.
Like that's how I assume Mary got the roles, because like her husband's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, her husband is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, her husband's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He's not fucking Obi-Wan.
He's Obi-Wan.
She's fucking
Sorry,
Obi-Wan
he's Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
fucking Kenobi.
Yeah, she's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
When the episodes are releasing, people are just like posting so many shots of her just fucking dump her. Like I would
So Frances McDormand is in this movie too. She plays Ed's sister Dot, whose husband Glenn is the racist, especially against the Polish, but also against everyone else. He got the job at the sheet metal factory,
which is not a mining job.
No, he drills holes
Yeah.
in sheet metal with Bubba from Blood Simple.
The character Bubba from Blood Simple.
Yeah.
It's connected universe.
He survived.
Yeah, and so they brought him in here.
He's in witness protection.
I'm gonna start treating every movies by the same director as if I see the same actors.
They're in witness protection.
They're in witness protection.
We absolutely should do that. That's a great bit. Especially if they canonically take place in the same universe. They're either twins in one of them is
Or maybe I'm just gonna say they're all twins. That's also really fucking funny to me.
So Frances McDormand is in this movie. She plays Edwina's sister Dot, who Dot.
What a terrible thing to name your children.
It's probably short for Dorothy.
The both of these. This is Edwina. This is Dot.
It's probably Edwina and Dorothy. But Dot is like she and Glenn have like too many children, like 6 kids of all different ages, and they're all rambunctious.
It is. I was watching this. I'm like, is this like you? Up until this point, it's been a weirdly pro kid movie in my opinion, which is any movie that says you should have a kid. But then suddenly they're like, let's make a segment where like kids are bad.
But it's the first time it becomes real to high.
Polish ally in the scene, by the way. He really says, you know what? I don't get it.
I don't get
just
it.
shuts him down.
That is how you shut down racist jokes.
But like,
just explain the joke to me.
it's all these kids watching these kids go around. See, I'm always nervous about saying explain the joke to me, because what if it's funny? What did they explain it? I
Then
go,
it's funny.
Fuck.
Then it's funny.
Fuck. This is
Listen,
fun.
if the joke is funny, the joke is funny.
But there's like
Is it more funny than it is offensive?
is the first time we see the kids them just beating on his car? Is that literally the first shot we see
Basically.
the kids? Yeah, there's just all these kids are awful, and I'm like, oh man.
I think it's a few things. It's one that Dot has all of this parenting advice, yet her kids are awful. And it's the first time parenting becomes real to High. And so he's seeing how badly it can go.
Yeah, there's a. Funnily enough, fellow famous Arizona Bill Keane, writer of Family Circus, often mentioned people in the newspaper comic circle that I tread in. Often talk about how, like, man, first Family Circus doesn't want you to have kids. Except that one where it mentions Warhammer for no apparent reason.
What?
I'll find it.
No,
keep
okay,
talking. Yeah, keep talking.
And High is like asking Glenn about parentage. Well, they're both asking the two members of the couple about the name, and they've been calling him High Jr. or Ed Jr. We're calling Ed, like Edward. We just like the name. And at one point, Glenn and High go for a walk, and Glenn starts telling more racist Pollock jokes. And High is having a panic attack, essentially, and is...
Oh, yeah, it's rough to see such blatant racism.
I agree. But he's spiraling about upcoming parenthood and is asking, like, how do you do it? Like, do you ever question every decision you've ever made into your life up until this point? And Glenn tries to get... that Glenn and Dot are swingers. And they're trying to swing with... It's so weird. Listen, you can be a swinger. Do your swinging lifestyle. I don't care. Keep family out of it.
Only family.
No, I think swingers and polyamory should have the same rules. No close friends or family. They should be off limits.
Swing your sister.
And it is at the suggestion of their swinging that Nick Cage does the only correct response and punches Glenn in his stupid racist face, breaks his nose, probably loses his job. We later learn officially loses his job.
Don't need it. You can go get a job working with your true allies, the pierogi makers. Become a pierogi man. Support you're obviously a friend of the Polish people. They won't let you down.
Anyway, so is next is the grocery store, right? When he's robbing because he's pretty sure he's gonna get fired, and they need to buy Huggies for Nathan Jr. and High has been missing his old crime life. He's a dog. He's a dog caged. He's been driving by convenience stores that aren't on his way home because he used to rob convenience stores. That's what got him into prison. So he tries to rob the convenience store. Then ensues one of the greatest car chases ever.
Up there for sure.
I don't even know if I can name all of the sequence of events that happen. It's just because everything happens so fast.
I remember the dog sticking out to me.
So let's see what I can remember. So he tries to rob the convenience store. The clerk calls the cops, or he presses the button to call the cops. And the cops come while Ed is watching him try and rob the convenience store. Ed drives away. The cops show up. The clerk also has a gun. Nick Cage starts...
a big ass fucking pistol.
Like a rifle, right? Or like a shotgun.
I thought it was like a pistol.
I thought
it was like this.
Oh, I thought he was holding it like... This is an audio podcast, but I thought he was holding it like this.
No, it might be.
But... has like this big ass gun, right? And Nick Cage bolts it. He is running away from the cop. And at one point, he jumps the fence to this dog leashed that is inches away from his face. And so he navigates around the yard to jump out the other side. The dog becomes...
and the whole time that music keeps playing. Like the cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will have to look. Give me 2 seconds. Is this the first? Did Carter Burwell do Blood Simple? Yes, he did. Never mind. It's the same. Basically, he does all of their. He's their music guy.
Hmm.
Blood Simple was his first movie. Interesting.
Man, he got it set. He was like, you know what? As a composer, I'm made. Day
dude.
one.
So the dog becomes untethered, and then he runs, and then Nick Cage runs through just a random person's house, just like opens their door, goes through their house, escapes through their basement, just
As you do.
is it almost in like that Evil Dead tracking shot where they run through the cabin, but not quite. Also, you can definitely tell that Sam Raimi and the Coen brothers were working together at the same during this period, because there were so many shots in this scene specifically, but across this movie where it like has the Evil Dead like bike shot where I'm like, oh, that is Sam Raimi through and through. So he goes through the house. He has dropped the Huggies at this point. He goes through the house, collects like 3 or 4 other dogs, all chasing him and the cop. He runs into... Ed decides to turn around and pick him up. He runs into the grocery store. A cop runs into him. He goes through the aisles to steal another thing of Huggies. The cop stops him at the aisle, who, by the way, is shooting through the aisle.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's people in those aisles.
It's a cop.
But yeah, 100%, I know. Nick Cage is trying to steal another thing of Huggies for Nathan Jr., has to throw it at the cop in order to escape. Does so, gets picked up by Ed. They then swing around. He opens the door. The original Huggies are still in the road. He leans down, picks it up, shut the door. They make it to safety. The entire time, Ed is just reading him the riot act. Like, you're a father now. We need to be stable for this baby. And High is like, I'm a stallion. You can't tame me. Also, this kid's just bad, a little bit bad too.
Crime baby. Which will cross over with Mole Cop.
They get home. Gail and Evel are staying the night. He was able to talk Ed into letting them stay 1 or 2 nights. Longer than I would have been able to be talked into. However, that's a completely reasonable amount of time, especially knowing they escaped. They're wanted. Ed reads the Criminal Brothers, the riot act. Like, I got nothing against you personally, but you're wanted, and I'm not letting you around my kid. Get the fuck out of my house. You have until I'm going to give him shots, or I'm going to like get medicine stuff for him tomorrow. By the time I get back, you better be gone. And that is when Gail talks to High about the bank heist. And John Goodman is just a bro. Like, listen, I got nothing against your wife personally, but it very much seems like maybe a cop and a criminal aren't the best combination, especially now when you have a kid in the mix.
That kid's going to be fucked up.
Yeah. Well, that kid's going to be fucked up for so many reasons.
No, I won't remember none of this.
Are babies that are abducted but returned as babies, do they hold some kind of...
No way.
Let's find out.
There's no way a baby remembers.
They may have like a sense memory.
There's nothing going on up there for like the first 3 years.
But you have like sense memory. You do though.
It's like a jellyfish.
No, it's not.
It's like a jellyfish till you're 3.
You can't. Just so you're aware, if
you're not even smarter than a bird till you're 6.
it happens. Anyway,
I have to see a long-term 7-year study.
So Lenny returns. He was a biker. We didn't even mention the dream. The dream is so important. How did we not mention it?
He has a dream, which is the entirety of the first Mad Max movie in the middle of this movie. It's really weird. It's like legitimately from like opening credits to closing credits.
So the first night Nathan comes, before he meets his friends again, he has this dream about a bounty hunter chasing after him. And then we later find out that bounty hunter is real.
Which is, I guess bounty hunters were a bigger thing back then. You don't really hear about them anymore.
They may have been a bigger thing. They also like...
After Dog died.
Yeah.
His famous bounty hunting accident.
Yeah, he was fighting Nick Cage and he pulled a grenade.
Yeah, it killed the whole industry. Kill the whole industry off.
I love that we return to Leonard like every 20 minutes. Just like, we're going to have an entire movie go on. But then it's like, what's going on with this guy?
He's just like out of place. Why is he here?
Because why not?
I know. It's really good.
It's good.
I just want to be in the room as they develop the character. At what point did they decide he has to look filthy?
So, do you know how the Coen brothers write scripts?
Final draft?
No, they write them, basically, they write multiple scripts at the same time. And when they have writer's block with one script, they just go to another one. Which is how, like, they have periods where they can have, like, 3 movies, like, in 3 years. And then they go through, like, a couple year droughts, is the wrong word, but, like, a couple year gaps. I am convinced that they don't outline their scripts until at least the first or second draft is
100%.
done.
They
They don't know where it's going.
As a into the seat writer myself, 100%. I see my writing process in their movies. I'm like, okay, I see that this is draft 7, Big Lebowski draft 7. I see you got there because there's a point like, oh fuck, what do we do with the nihilists? You got to bring in what's the climax of this movie? Fuck, we forgot about the nihilists. Put them in one thing. We'll make it one thing.
But they have this energy of you can never predict where it's going because they can't predict where it's going.
They're just writing as they go. You don't need an outline, really. That's a myth.
You don't need one, sure.
You can just as long as you're okay having like 10 drafts of something.
Well, you should have 10 drafts of something even if you have an outline, but sure.
But like excessive amounts of drafts without an outline. You're really going to need a draft. You're really going to need to like revise those drafts. They don't get lighter. Each one's like, fuck.
So Lenny invades Nathan's office and gives him an offer he can't refuse and threatens to like sell his kid on the black market.
Yeah. I didn't know that's how bounty hunters work, but apparently you just go to people and say, I'm going to bounty hunt for you.
Well,
and
that there is a reward that's already being offered.
And if they say no, you're like, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, that's how Leonard Smalls works.
He looks like a dirty Neanderthal.
Yeah. Glenn returns to Fire High when he's like, by the way, you're fired. I was just like, I assumed that.
Yeah.
I assumed.
I was going to show up for work.
Yeah. And also, I found out Nathan Jr., who Nathan Jr. is, and you're going to give us the baby because Dot wants to raise another baby, and there's something wrong with my semen. Something happened.
Greedy.
Something happened with his semen.
It's greedy. You already have like
there was
5
an accident.
kids.
Yeah, there was an accident.
Goon.
Well, they're getting too old to cuddle.
They goon too much.
Yeah.
Get a goon blockage.
Or he was just so racist. A Polish curse was placed.
A Polish. He's told because you can be general. I mean, there's tons of race with kids, but specifically, you gotta be careful against those Eastern Europeans. Because if you tell too many racist jokes about a group of Eastern Europeans, Russians, Ethiopians, Romanians, a small old grandmother will come up to you in a babushka and curse your family.
Exactly.
It's what happened to my family, even though we are Polish, and that's why no one's happily married.
Sure.
Because he wouldn't give him the eggs. I told you this, right?
Yeah, the egg sandwich.
The egg sandwich, yeah. She went, babushka, and cursed us. It's this fucked up thing to do, man. Like, come on, dude. We're all one people. So, we're all suffering under the white man here. You're gonna curse this babushka lady?
And now, in addition to robbing the bank, the brothers are gonna steal Nathan Jr. for the ransom money.
Not a well thought out plan.
No, and in the fight in the house, I think John Goodman throws what might be my favorite punch in cinematic history when he's fighting High and he cocks back, his elbow slams into the window, and then his fist just goes through the drywall and gets stuck. That right there might be my favorite. Just that whole wah pow pow. Like you saw him have the idea, you saw him execute the idea, and you saw him realize it was a bad idea.
And that was just John Goodman.
Yeah, that's
how John Goodman punches.
All in real time.
He punches a lot in these movies. Because does he fight in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Probably.
Because he fights, famously, he fights in Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well. Which makes sense, I guess. He was in the Vietnam War, as he says so often.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be bad for the character if he wasn't actually like good at fighting.
So they rob the convenience. So Nathan Jr. has an accident in the car, and they're robbing the convenience store for the diapers and some money. And he has the guy count down from like 800 something. And then when they return, he's at like 700 something, and he's like, I'm gonna stop counting. And then he goes up, and they return, so he starts counting again. That's just a fun little thing. And then they're going to rob the bank, right? Yes, because they have to return because they left the baby on the roof. They left the baby on the roof, Matthew.
The baby, you're concerned about leaving the baby behind once and then proceed to forget the baby.
And they rob the bank with the baby.
Yeah, because they're like, we don't want to leave it in the car.
And I love freeze, get on the ground. Yeah. Well, which is it?
Where's the tellers? We're on the ground.
Shut the fuck up, get on the ground. Do you want us to freeze or get on the ground? Shut the fuck up.
So I should say, don't try shit, get on the ground.
Yeah.
It accomplishes the same thing as freeze. There's some tips for you bank robbers out there.
They rob the bank and they leave the baby. They forgot the baby again.
Which is wild, because it's in a thing. It's not like it's just a small, easily
it's in a car seat.
Like easily losable child. You know, babies on their own, you can lose them between the couch cushions. But like, it's in a fucking car. It's a thing.
So Hai wants to divorce. No, Ed wants to divorce Hai, whether or not they get the baby. She doesn't care about herself anymore. She doesn't care about Hai. She still loves him, but she just wants to make sure that baby's safe. It's spoken like a true mother. And they go back to the bank, and Nathan Jr. is safe. Thank God. This movie is part horror movie. Genuinely, everything they do with the baby scares me so much. The Coen brothers could direct an excellent horror movie.
I think babies are pretty resilient.
Okay, so
they have to be, right?
They not only do they find the baby,
babies didn't die,
but what?
Caveman babies didn't die, and we didn't have car seats back then. You have to assume a baby's somewhat resilient.
Anyway,
danger.
So they, Mad Max Lenny appears.
It's so weird that he called him his first name, because I only remembered him by like his last name. So I'm like, oh, it's Smalls.
He shows up out of nowhere, but he's fighting. He's
got the war rig.
He's fighting Ed and Hai for that baby.
I don't think you can do that as a bounty hunter. I think that's illegal.
I don't think he cares.
He's carrying grenades.
I don't think he especially cares, but they're fighting, and Ed manages to get Nathan Jr. and just runs far away into the car, and then Hai still has to tackle Lenny, and eventually Lenny's kicking the ever-loving shit out of him. He's gonna kill Hai. He is like holding Hai, about to slam him down. He throws Hai away, and it's revealed that Hai had pulled the pin on one of the grenades, but he doesn't know which one because he has
which implies an older grenade, because new grenades are it's harder to do that.
Yeah,
they have a lot of safety features, because it turns out that soldiers were terrified of the grenades. They'd either tape the grenade handles down. Yeah. And the army's like, well, we're going to make a better grenade because you guys can't be doing that.
Well, yeah. And he blows up into a billion pieces, and there's just like legs in baby shoes. Also, Lenny has baby shoes hanging off of his
that's how you know he's a bounty hunter.
Vest. Yeah, but like he blows up. You see like an arm and a leg and some gut entrails, and Hai and Ed return Nathan Jr. and Nathan Sr. finds them in the room.
And he's like, "Hey, don't get a divorce."
Yeah, he's like, "You stole him, but like you brought him back. I love my wife." He truly is just like, "Don't get a divorce. I love my wife."
He's a love your wife guy.
He's like, marriage is hard, especially with kids, but I love my wife. Don't get a divorce. And they don't, because Hai has a dream that
one
day the two brothers
Ebony and Ivory working together.
The two brothers return to prison. They go back the way they came. but he sees a distant future that's kind of fuzzy. Well, Nathan Jr. gets a football when he's like 6 from a mysterious couple who asked to be anonymous. Yeah. Obviously, it's high in it. But then he dreams about the two of them, and it's fuzzier down the... It's fuzzier far into the future, and it's an old couple sitting on a couch as their children and grandchildren come visit them in a faraway land, and he doesn't know where it is. But maybe it's Utah.
A dark ending if there's ever been one. Moving to Utah.
This movie rules.
It does rule.
This movie's so good. It's so interesting that these are entirely different genres, but you could not tell me that they were directed by the same people, and I would immediately know they're directed by the same people.
Yeah.
They have the same... It's a tone thing.
What's it like with Wes Anderson? How all his movies are like different.
But they all look the same, basically.
Yeah, that's like his directing thing. But they're different genres.
Okay.
The latest one was a political crime thriller. The previous one was a movie about a play and also aliens.
A weird dramedy. The one before that was a weird dramedy. And the one before that was... I didn't see it because it was a parody of a Wes Anderson movie. It's not real.
Well,
it's
that's
an
like
SNL
saying
parody.
That's like saying every Coen Brothers movies is in different genres because they're wacky hijinks.
Well, no, a weird drama. A dramedy is a genre, though.
I wouldn't label the Phoenician Scheme as a dramedy.
I would label Asteroid City as a dramedy.
I'd label it as a drama movie, not like drama as in that's the genre. It's a movie about drama.
Okay.
Because it's about a play.
I would label it a dramedy.
And then there's the dog movie,
which I would also label a dramedy.
No, that's a Japanese movie.
They're entirely different genres. Miller's Crossing is also... Their first 3 movies really set the tone for everything they're going to make ever in the future.
Just wait till their next movie. Gonna throw the whole thing for a loop.
Yeah.
It's gonna be compared to Neon Demon. It's gonna be weird.
The next Coen Brothers movie?
Yeah.
Are they coming back? Are they coming back together? Because I know Ethan...
What if they came back together and made like a Refn film? That'd be wild.
Wild. I know Ethan and his wife, Trisha, made...
Have you seen all the Refn films?
I've seen a couple. I think I've seen Bronson.
Have you seen Only God Forgives?
Yes. I don't like that movie.
That's a movie I like. Not good.
Sure.
That's the one Refn film I'm like, you know what? I liked it. This is like no value whatsoever in cinema. I think Neon Demon has value. I like Neon Demon.
Sure. I think Neon Demon
Another Nicolas Cage vehicle.
Nicolas Cage is in that movie?
Yeah, he's like the motel owner.
I thought that was...
Isn't that Nicolas Cage?
That's Keanu Reeves.
Fuck, you're right.
Okay.
They both have peers where they have long black hair.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember Nicolas Cage at all in that movie. Yeah, I don't like that movie. It's far too surface level observation, and I feel like it's all style, no real substance.
Oh, I love that. It's one of those audacious things where you're like, we're gonna do like a really artsy shot of pedophilic necrophilia. And it's
I literally, as that was happening, I out loud watching the movie in my dorm room went, "Oh, come on!"
I was like, "Hell yeah!"
No, I was like,
"Let's
Refn,
go,
stop. You're
Refn!
just being edgy to be edgy.
Let's go, Refn! Put this in a theater!"
Dude, no, I hate the Neon
There are two
Demon.
types of cinema I appreciate, like the cinema that is good, interesting, artistic, and the cinema which is just like, let's see what I can get away with. And both are my favorite types of cinema. Good artsy like Coen Brothers, or like just interesting films.
Sure.
And then movies where it's like you wanted to see how far you could push. Because inside of me are two wolves. One who wants to make interesting stuff and one who wants to push the envelope.
Sure.
I just love being like, I wonder what I can get away with in this movie.
I think ideally you should do that. You should push the envelope by making interesting stuff.
Yeah, but sometimes you just want to push the envelope.
No, I have seen no value in that. I truly see no value in just where's the line. If I'm gonna find out where the line is, I want to make a statement.
I think you just gotta be interesting with it. It can't just be. It's gotta be weird. It's gotta be something that hasn't been done before. I don't like when you push the envelope and I'm just gonna make something really gory and gross.
No, sure.
And so everyone does that. But when you're like, I'm gonna come up with a brand new way to push the envelope, you're like, all right, All right. It's why I've never seen them, but I like the concept of Human Centipede 2 better than Human Centipede 1.
Because it's a film, like it's about the first movie.
Yeah, and I think the third one's about the second movie.
Yes, it is.
And I'm really obsessed with them where they're like, each movie the previous movie is going to be a movie in the universe.
Up until I saw a Hudsucker Proxy fairly recently, up until Hudsucker Proxy, this was my favorite Coen Brothers movie.
I think mine's still Big Lebowski.
That's so fair. Big Lebowski, I think I've said this before, is a movie that I like.
It's definitely one of my top comfort movies.
Interesting. I'll watch that movie. I think I've seen it twice, and I'm like, this is good. I like this movie.
It's part of my Thanksgiving. I put on some Mumford & Sons.
And you listen to Big Lebowski?
I watch Big Lebowski.
Or you listen to Mumford & Sons and watch Big Lebowski?
And I print out a bunch of pictures of Squanto and hang them all around the house.
That's so fair.
It's his birthday.
I'm aware. So, the nature of this experiment, why I wanted to pick the first two movies, was to try and compare and contrast.
There's enough that it's like, it is such a wild comparison.
It's so...
I picked up enough through the Miller.
But they have the exact same, like, tone.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, like, not genre. The camera work is similar.
They remain the same cast iron pod.
Yes. There's something about, like, the dialogue style mixed with, like... I keep saying tone, but I need to think of another word. Like... I'm trying to think of something specific.
Tenor?
Sure. But I'm trying to think of a specific instance. I don't know. I wish I had more. One, we should be wrapping up. The lady texted me. She is like getting hungry and antsy. But we should be wrapping up soon. I wish I had a better word for it than tone. But there is something vibe, I guess, but there's something innate. Like it kind of, I don't know. There are people who don't think auteur theory is real.
It was just stupid.
I agree. I think auteur theory has its flaws. I think it's deeply misogynistic, not necessarily in the theory itself, but the fact that we've never really been able to like expand outside of like a bunch of white dudes, which we should be able to now.
Yeah, we got Jordan Peele.
I mean, sure, but I mean, like it doesn't. Many women don't really get an opportunity to have these long careers that you can like do that. There are a couple who have, and there are a couple who've had short careers that you can definitely tell. But I'll say vibe. There's a vibe. There's something innate in these two movies that you could not tell me they were directed by the same person, and I would immediately know they were directed by the same person. Yet they're so different. They're totally different genres. Have you seen Miller's Crossing?
No.
Okay. It is a movie I don't love. I think it needed to be bigger, but that's beside the point. I'll rewatch Miller's Crossing at some point, probably not for this pod. But you can see it through all of their movies, but like basically all of their movies exist on the spectrum from Blood Simple to Raising Arizona. And they are the two poles, and like all of their other movies kind of exist somewhere in the middle.
I appreciate you saying poles and not Pollock.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm blanking on exact verbiage, and I love this movie. I like Blood Simple a lot. Hudsucker Proxy is one of my favorite movies ever, and A Serious Man is the same thing. Yeah. Like, you watch A Serious Man, it's like, that's the guy who did Blood Simple.
Yeah. It's the flavor, it's the vibe.
Like, Tarantino has his dialogue and he has his camera moves.
It's like how all
the Coen brothers don't even
like
have
LaCroix.
that. Sure. But the Coen brothers don't really have that style. Like, they have a style. Like, they have a way their characters talk and like a way they move the camera, but it's not as flashy as something like a Tarantino is. But there's something like, it just proves auteur theory. This is a long walk for a short drink of water. It's auteur theory is real.
Yeah. Obviously.
There are people who don't
David
believe
Lynch
it and they're wrong.
exists.
Yeah, for real. I mean, do you have any final thoughts?
Don't steal babies.
Agreed.
Also, please write to NBC or CBS and tell them that, like in a month or so after we submit the pilot, and tell them that you want to see Mole Cop.
Okay. Watch this movie.
I bet I could get Nicolas Cage as Mole Cop. He does like anything.
You might be able to.
He would be really. Can you imagine the close up of him digging? He would be good. He'd be really good as Mole Cop.
He would. Anyway, watch this movie. That's really all I have to say about it. This movie rules. The Coen brothers rule. They have a couple missteps, but like they have a really solid filmography. I think Hayao Miyazaki is the greatest living filmmaker of all time. The Coen brothers, when together, are close. They're in the discussion. I hope I'm able to edit something cohesive out of this. Do you want to do socials?
I'll do socials. You can find us on Instagram at 2 Men Movie Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, 2 Men and a Movie Podcast. A little trickier there. A little trickier to find us. You can find me at Midwest_Magicians, where I post Plastic Man and accept various ex-reader or ex-Matthew scripts.
So you want them to submit the X-Reader now to your Instagram?
Or the Gmail at 2menmoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Submit it wherever. You can just post it somewhere and then tag me or send me a link.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You'll get your cash. That's all you're doing it for. You have no love for the art.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Lemonade at harrisonpoole.com, HARRISONPOOLE.
I'm going to change my username to make it easier.
DOTCOM. Or on Letterboxd, HDPOOLE124. Thank you so much to Tristan Ostener for our theme music. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I'm able to edit something cohesive out of my wild ramblings. Anyways, thank you for listening. So long and good night.
Hugs and kisses.
This is Matthew and Harrison's 2 Men in a Movie. It's not what it sounds like.